Right. Good day, everyone. We are going to give just a few more seconds here while people join the webinar. So please hang tight. You are in the right place, and we are glad that you are here today. Okay. Well, hello, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Jamie Wise, and I am the Dedicated Wellbeing Services Program Manager with WebMD, here to present on optimizing your sleep as a kickoff to the Seize the Z's 28-day challenge. This challenge officially starts today, February 19th, and you have 2 weeks to register, with the last day to register being February 26th. And as a quick preview and something just to be thinking about while we are going through the webinar today, is that the goal of this challenge is to get a good night's sleep each night. I will say that one more time as a focal point for today. The goal of this challenge is to get a good night's sleep each night. WebMD is honored to be partnering with SmartHealth, and we are happy to be bringing informational webinars to support the health and wellness of all state employees. This is our 4th wellbeing webinar, the first one of this year. And if you are interested in listening to those from 2024, you can find them on the Washington State Healthcare Authority YouTube page. And then starting tomorrow, you can also find a recording of this webinar in the resources area of our SmartHealth web pages. Okay. Our objectives for today are to explain the types of sleep, identify why sleep is important, describe sleep recommendations, identify how to fight fatigue, discuss unique work hours, and develop tactics for optimal sleep. We will also practice a few relaxation techniques that you might find helpful, and then learn more about the Seize the Z's challenge. Please note this information does not provide medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. It should not be used as a substitute for healthcare from a licensed healthcare professional. Consult with your healthcare provider for individualized treatment or before beginning any new program. Okay, so let's get into the what, why, and how much sleep we need. And please note that good sleep looks different for everybody, and it can vary depending on the season of life that you're in. Today we will be talking through just a few ideas, but please know that this is by no means an exhaustive review of ways to take care of ourselves or improve sleep. We hope that you are able to identify a few new opportunities or ways to get better, more sound sleep. And we are just glad you're here, and we hope that this is a meaningful learning opportunity for you no matter where you are in life right now. Please do allow yourself grace and time if needed today and always. Take what you need and leave what doesn't work for you right now. Okay. Now there are 2 types of sleep, non-REM and REM. REM stands for rapid eye movement, and you need both types to complete a sleep cycle. And you will go back and forth between REM and non-REM. Non-REM sleep comes first, and there are 3 stages. In stage 1, your eyes are closed, but it's easy to wake up, and it may last somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. In stage 2, you are in a light sleep. Your heart rate slows, and your body temperature drops. Your body is getting ready for that deep sleep. With stage 3 comes deep sleep, and it's harder to rouse yourself during this stage. The body repairs and regrows tissues, it builds bone, muscles, and strengthens the immune system during this time. Following non-REM sleep, there is a shorter period of REM sleep, and that's when the dreams occur. It's during this time your heart rate and your breathing quickens. So you can have intense dreams since your brain is more active. And then that cycle starts back over with non-REM sleep. It's sleep disorders that disrupt that normal cycle and what can keep you from getting a good night of sleep. Sleeping is vital to our health and our well-being. During deep sleep, your body goes into a rest and repair mode. And that's when it's working to repair muscles, organs, and other cells. Sleeping also affects us mentally and emotionally. It affects our mood, memory, energy levels, concentration levels, health, safety, work, and relationships. Good quality sleep can lead to better cardiovascular, respiratory, and metabolic health. It may allow better control of hormones that control your appetite and cravings. It can lead to less pain. So rest is when your body does those vital restorative repair processes. Lower risk injury. Driving while drowsy, for instance, results in an average of 83,000 car crashes per year. Better mood. Depression and sleep are interrelated, and some depression symptoms may decrease with more adequate sleep. Clearer thinking. Drowsiness slows our reaction time and ability to think critically. Better memory. Sleep helps us lay down long-term memories. And potentially stronger immunity. There are some cells that boost immunity and work harder while we are sleeping. Okay. And the amount of sleep we require varies by age, as you can see on this chart here. Your personal requirement may be different than someone else's. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends the minimum amount of sleep for adults is 7 hours a night. If issues persist, you may want to consult your doctor for consultation on a potential sleep disorder. Sleep deprivation affects 47 million American adults, and it can accumulate. When we don't get enough sleep, we can accumulate sleep debt. And just like financial debt, it can be hard to pay back when it builds up. The difference between sleep deprivation and deficiency: deprivation is not enough sleep. Deficiency is not getting the necessary quality of sleep. Factors that may affect sleep include lifestyle, such as your work schedule or travel, repeated awakenings, so maybe your home environment is too noisy, oversleeping on the weekends, or opposite, and sleeping less on the weekends, medications, medical conditions, such as depression or pain or difficulty breathing, and then stress, being unable to shut out your thoughts at bedtime or worrying about not being able to fall asleep. Symptoms of sleep deprivation, which I'm thinking all of us have likely experienced at one point in our lives, would be fatigue during the day, lack of energy, diminished muscle strength and endurance, mood changes throughout the day, maybe feeling pessimistic or negative, maybe feeling increased stress or even anger, social problems, and lack of concentration. Now let's chat more about how to fight fatigue. A few keys to fight fatigue would include keeping a routine, setting a bedtime schedule that allows for 8 hours of sleep. Even getting just 1 hour less of sleep a night can affect your ability to think properly and respond quickly. Taking a nap when needed. Naps are no substitute for a good night's sleep, but they can be restorative and help counter some effects of not getting enough sleep at night. It is best to avoid a nap after 3 p.m. and limit those naps to just 20 minutes, and you may need to set an alarm for that. The next 3 points here focus on nutrition and exercise, specifically looking at diets, alcohol and caffeine, and movement. And let's dive into those on the next few slides here. So how can we fight fatigue with diet? Throughout the day, we want to be striving for balanced meals. Half of our plate can be filled with fruits and vegetables, with that emphasis on the vegetables. The other half should be a quarter whole grains or starchy vegetables, and a quarter should be lean protein. Dairy is another good source of protein and can be a part of a balanced diet. Lean proteins at each meal and snack can help you feel satisfied longer. Lean proteins include meats like the round or loin, skinless poultry, low-fat dairy, seafood, tofu, and beans. Pro tip here is that if you struggle from heartburn, do avoid spicy foods around bedtime. Lack of water can lead to dehydration, which can be a cause of fatigue that we tend to forget about. However, you may want to consider cutting off your intake, that water intake, at least 1 hour before bedtime to avoid having to wake up to urinate. While a balanced diet is really key to promoting good sleep, foods that contain tryptophan may also be supportive. As many of us know this very well around the holidays, this can be found in turkey, as well as dairy foods, nuts and seeds, bananas, honey, and eggs. And having a small snack may also help you feel sleepy. For that snack, think about choosing a complex carbohydrate option like whole wheat toast, or a bowl of oatmeal, or even a little cheese and crackers. When we don't get enough sleep, our body produces more ghrelin. This is a hormone that increases our hunger, our food intake, and promotes fat storage. I tend to remember ghrelin by thinking about it like a goblin. Ghrelin also suppresses leptin. Leptin is the hormone that tells us when we are full, and that regulates our appetite and fat storage. The less you sleep, the more likely you are to prefer eating foods that are higher in calories and carbohydrates. Sleep loss can also increase cortisol and impact insulin levels. Cortisol is often known as a stress hormone and impacts nearly all organs in the body. Individuals who lose sleep may continue to feel hungry despite adequate food intake as a result of higher cortisol levels. And this can lead to more cravings and consumption of high fat and high carbohydrate foods. Foods that may be worth limiting if you're struggling to get good sleep include high fat or heavy meals, since they can activate digestion, which can lead to interrupted sleep. Caffeine, which can stay in your system for up to 8 hours. I've got a whole slide on that ahead. And then alcohol, which can cause sleep disturbances. 80% of adults have at least one caffeinated beverage per day, while 25% have 4 or more per day. And caffeine and sugar, which is often added to our drinks, they are stimulants that do not provide the body with lasting energy on their own. Your average 8-ounce cup of coffee contains somewhere between 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine, and tea contains 14 to 60 milligrams per cup. Less than 400 milligrams of caffeine has been shown to be a safe amount for adults. And energy drinks are a blend of sugar, B vitamins, herbs, and caffeine. These beverages are not regulated and can contain unsafe levels of these ingredients. With too much caffeine, you may experience insomnia, restlessness, anxiety, stomach upset, increased blood pressure, and nausea. Caffeine can actually stay in your system for hours, which is why it may impact your sleep, especially if you're having it later in the day. As an alternative, a small bout of exercise or a healthy snack like an apple and a few almonds, really that protein carbohydrate combo, can also provide a nice energy boost. Regular exercise is, of course, another great way to fight fatigue. Sitting at a desk too long can make us feel tired, and what's nice is that many smartwatches offer a fantastic feature that helps remind you to get up and move every hour. Exercise does help you to fall asleep more quickly and improve sleep quality. And people who engage in at least 30 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise may see a difference in sleep quality that same night. Exercise can help stabilize your mood and decompress the mind to help you naturally transition to sleep. And it can also cause the body to release endorphins. For some people, exercising too close to bedtime can keep people awake. To avoid this, exercise at least 1 to 2 hours before going to bed. Exercise could also raise your core temperature, but if after 30 to 90 minutes after exercise, the body temperature does start to fall. We want that cooler body temperature to fall asleep to. And many of you have likely seen this slide before, but we will briefly walk through the recommendations again. While these are the recommendations, please note that this is about progress over perfection. Start where you can and increase where you can. Adults need at least 150 minutes of moderate intense aerobic exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity activity a week. Moderate intensity activities look like walking fast, doing water aerobics, riding a bike on level ground or with a few hills, or pushing a lawnmower. You should be able to talk but not sing during that activity. Vigorous intensity aerobic exercise looks like jogging or running, swimming laps, riding a bike fast or on hills, and playing basketball. Then 2 days a week, we want to be including muscle strengthening activities where you are working the major muscle groups of your body. Think about your legs, hips, back, chest, abdomen, shoulders, arms. Try to do 8 to 12 repetitions per activity, that being one set, and then try to do at least 2 to 3 sets. This will include activities like lifting weights, working with resistance bands, doing exercises that use your body weight for resistance, like push-ups or sit-ups, heavy gardening, like digging or shoveling. And then go ahead, you can spread your activity out throughout the day if you can't do it all at once. Break it up into smaller chunks. All right, and I know we are not all working 9 to 5 every day. We've got a lot going on, and many of us have schedules that vary depending on the week. If you do work in the evening hours, use bright lights in your workplace to help keep you awake. Use caffeine only during the first part of your shift to promote alertness at night. Get rid of sound and light distraction in your bedroom during your daytime sleep. If you can, minimize the number of shift changes so that your body's biological clock has a longer time to adjust to a nighttime work schedule. And then increase your total amount of sleep by adding in naps and lengthening the amount of time that you are allotting for sleep. Adjusting to a new time zone may take several days. If you are going to be away for just a few days, it's best to stick to your original sleep and wake times as much as possible. Eastward travel causes more severe jet lag than westward travel because you have to shorten your day. Adjust your biological clock about 2 to 3 days prior to a long trip. Really start thinking about getting adequate sleep. You can make minor changes to your sleep schedule. If you're traveling west, delay your bedtime and wake time progressively by 20 to 30-minute intervals. If you're traveling east, advance your wake time by 10 to 15 minutes a day for a few days and try to advance your bedtime. Decreasing light exposure at bedtime and increasing light exposure at wake time can be helpful. When arriving at your destination, if you can, spend a lot of time outdoors so that your body gets used to those light cues it needs. And then you could take a couple of 10 to 15-minute cat naps if you are tired or really if you have time, but do not take long naps during the day. And then avoid alcohol and caffeine. Alcohol can make it harder for you to stay asleep and wake in the middle of the night. Caffeine can help keep you awake longer, but it may make it harder for you to fall asleep. And use caffeine only during the morning, not during the afternoon. Now let's talk through good sleep habits. This is often a work in progress as we move through the seasons of life. We want to be setting up an optimal sleep environment when we can. Getting rid of anything in your bedroom that might distract you, such as noises, bright lights, a television, cell phone or computer, maybe an uncomfortable bed or warm temperatures. You actually sleep better if the temperature of the room is kept on the cool side. You can turn the clock face so that it's out of view so you don't have to worry about the time while trying to sleep. Add a white noise machine if your bedroom experiences more outdoor noise. Replace the pillows every 2 years and a mattress every 9 to 10 years. So you can actually go ahead and check your bed for sags and lumps. And then screen time. Studies link heavy computer and smartphone use to increase sleeping issues. And as we know, that blue light from our digital devices suppresses the sleep-promoting hormone melatonin, which keeps us from having that restful sleep. I've listed a few different established relaxation techniques here, a few of which we will briefly practice today if you're feeling up for it. The first one, progressive muscle relaxation. This is a deep relaxation technique used to control stress and anxiety, relieve insomnia, and reduce certain types of chronic pain. It is done by tensing or tightening one muscle group at a time, followed by a relaxation phase with the release of that tension. For example, go ahead right now and contract one muscle group, such as your calves, while you inhale for 5 to 10 seconds. Then exhale, releasing that tension in your calves. And then give yourself 10 to 20 seconds to relax before moving on to the next muscle group, like your upper thighs. So go ahead now, breathe in and tense those upper thighs. And then release. Experts suggest that you start at your lower extremities and then work your way up. It's been reported that people who suffer from insomnia benefit from doing this. And stress tends to make us tense up. So PMR, or progressive muscle relaxation, is a great way to reduce that tension. Meditation or mindfulness. Now, this is when we are focusing on the present moment versus the past or the future. Mindfulness increases positive emotions and helps turn down the body's response to stress. A meditation practice means that you are training your attention to achieve a mental state of calm, concentration, and positive emotions. Diaphragmatic breathing. Again, this is one we can practice briefly here. Place one hand on your belly and then one hand on your chest. And then expand your belly as you fill up your lungs. And notice your chest does not move much. Inhaling and exhaling, reminding yourself to breathe deeply. It's when we breathe more rapidly under stress, when we lose more carbon dioxide and don't get as much oxygen to our cells, which prevents them from functioning at full capacity. Doing these deep belly or diaphragmatic breaths may help lower your heart rate and blood pressure and may help reduce your stress. I'm feeling calmer already. Guided imagery. This is a relaxation technique that is done by using your imagination to create relaxing images and experiences, which your body can then interpret as real. Again, right now, imagine a safe, happy, relaxing, or peaceful place. And then try imagining images that would use all of your senses. Think about your taste. What do you hear? What can you smell at this peaceful place? What can you see? And then what sensations do you feel? This can trigger your body to release calming chemicals. You could also seek out a practitioner who can lead you through this, or you can do a little more research on your own and then lead yourself through it. The last one I have listed here is autogenic training. This also uses imagery and body awareness by imagining being in a peaceful place and then focusing on different physical sensations. This looks a little different than the last one, where you're thinking about the heaviness of your limbs or the feel of your heartbeat. All right, so as we wrap on what we learned today, let's touch on these final tips. And my hope is that there are maybe 1 or 2 actions that you can take away from today and try out this week. First one I have listed here, establishing that regular routine, practicing good sleep hygiene, again, keeping that bedroom cool, dark, quiet, avoiding caffeine and nicotine. Now, nicotine is one that we did not touch on today, but it is also a stimulant and can impact quality sleep. Consider reducing alcohol, especially before bed. Exercise and move daily. Aim for 15 to 20-minute power naps as needed before 3 p.m. Avoid that large meal right before bedtime. Have a place to release your stress. So maybe it's keeping a journal near your bedside table. Use established relaxation techniques like we practiced today. And if you're feeling frustrated, get up, leave the room, try some quiet activities, and then try again when you are feeling tired. All right, now we are ready and more prepared for the Seize the Z's challenge. Let's go ahead and put these learnings into practice and sleep more soundly this month. The challenge, as I mentioned at the beginning, it does start today, February 19th, and then it ends March 18th. To participate, you must register by February 26th. You can register online at smarthealth.hca.wa.gov or by using the Wellness at Your Side app. You can earn 150 points by completing this challenge. During this challenge, you are focusing on that goal of getting a good night's sleep each night, whatever that looks like for you. You will indicate whether you were able to meet that goal by answering yes or no on at least 21 days of the 28-day challenge to earn that 150 points. You can document your progress each day, which I recommend, or you can go back to report it before the end of the challenge. Your participation is what matters here. Doesn't matter how you answer, it's about your participation. Are you paying attention to your sleep this month? That is what will earn you points in this challenge. Your best days start with a good night's sleep, and while you're snoozing, your body is getting the rest it needs to help you feel happier, think clearer, and stay focused for longer. And with that, thanks again for joining us today. Sleep well.